Most people's natural first instinct when they see somebody else out there doing and achieving some big audacious goal or dream they have is to immediately reject the idea that they too could do it as well. Without even the slightest ponder, many people rush to, "That's crazy, he or she's insane, I don't have time for that." They lean more towards critiquing that person and kind of judging that person than being impressed and letting it fill themselves with hope and belief that they too could do it. It's an immediate shutdown, case closed, wipe my hands clean of that, don't even want to think about it, nope, not for me. But what if you just paused and opened yourself up to the idea of doing X, Y, or Z? What if you were open to growth, no matter how outrageous or unclear the path to those goals are? Are you that heavily chained down to your self-limited, small-minded beliefs that you can't even give it some thought? At least giving it some thought gets you closer to the thing. Maybe the thing you've kind of pondered for a little but never really gave it some thought is totally achievable by almost everybody out there, but it seems so impossible to you because of the small sample size of people that actually have the courage to try. People become doctors, lawyers, pilots, they learn a language, they run a marathon, they quit smoking, they give a public speech every single day. It's these big goals, these A to Z goals, I like to say, where the path from A to Z is pretty unclear. But eventually as you're going, you kind of figure it out and you get this big achievement, this big reward, this big route there. But a lot of people have these kind of small-minded A to B desires, ambitions, goals. I want to feel good. I'll go to the store, buy alcohol, drink. A to B. But a big goal, like becoming a pilot, is, oh my God, pilot's over here, I'm here, flight hours, this, that, But the reward is huge. A prime example of how this kind of plays out is I recently was at work and it came up that I've done a few 50-mile races. I was doing 70-mile weeks. I was doing the whole ultra marathon thing. I no longer do that, but it kind of came up that I had done that. And most people's responses are pretty predictable. First you kind of say it and there's this awkward pause, and then there's this immediate, like I was saying, "That's crazy, oh, that's insane, not just white people," not even like congratulative, it's more seemed as crazy and something they could never do. But the thing is that's how I thought before I did any of this. I was in that same mindset. I was comfortable running my 6 miles, and then I saw Goggins, I saw these Cameron Hanes figures. Oh my God, people can run 100 miles. People run, I do 6 miles every other day, and people run like 15 miles a day. And then I slowly started kind of opening myself up to the idea of this whole ultra marathon thing. And every single day I was doing it, and then voila, I've ran 50 miles a few times. Yes, it's possible. View things as an invitation to growth instead of something for other people to do. Let hope and belief in yourself guide your decisions versus negativity and self-doubt. Let the phrase "what if" push you forward to what you want instead of being your dying regret. Imagine being a wide receiver in football that gets up to the line and never gets open. He just plays patty cake with the DB and never kind of gets open. Or you can be the receiver that, even though he doesn't know the set route, he doesn't know exactly how he's going to get open, he doesn't know how he's going to get to the goal, the touchdown, which is many of our big goals and dreams, is we don't know quite how we're going to do it, but first we got to get open. So if you're that receiver that plays patty cake with the DB and you're never going to get open, you're never going to score, you're never going to get there. Or you can be the receiver that just gets open. Just get open yourself up to it, and voila, you'll probably get the ball at some point and you'll probably score a touchdown. I'm not suggesting to be so open that you don't have a spine. You have to hold true to your standards, your values, your beliefs, what you want out of life. You have to know that and hold very tight to that. But you can't be so closed off that when opportunity comes knocking, some big dream, ambition, goal, something comes knocking, you can't be the bodyguard at the door to your life and just never open the door and never see who's there. Just crack the door open a little, see what the idea is. But if you just slam the door and are never open to growth, well, you're never going to grow.